Hello, guys. Mr. Sarge here. Like I said, I'm out today, so I'm going to give you a little video lesson. Today, we're going to be talking about distance formula and midpoint formula. And I know those are something you might have done in algebra class, but I want to make sure that we cover that. It is covered in the geometry textbook. So I'm going to quickly go through these formulas and then give you some assignments for today. You may have learned the distance formula as x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared and the square root of that quantity. So basically, it's finding distance between any 2 points. So we have a point here and a point here, and these would be our endpoints. Point A is -3, -5. We'll label that point A. Point B is x is +1, B is +2. So if we were to connect these two with a straight line segment, we want to find what the distance of this segment is between point A and B. So maybe you've learned this, maybe you haven't, but what you're doing in the distance formula is you're using the Pythagorean theorem. Because we look at this, we actually have a right triangle, and one side of the right triangle is the difference between y2 and y1. We have y2 is 2, y1 is -5. So this is y2 minus y1, which is 2 minus -5. And remember, if you subtract a negative number, you really add the opposite. You add a +5, so that would be 7. So the length of this side right here is 7. And this side down here, this side of the triangle is x2 minus x1, which is 2 minus -5. And that turns out to, or sorry, +1 minus -3, x2 minus x1, +1 minus -3, which is 4. So this side is the length of 4. So we have a side that's 4 and a side that's 7. So really this is just x2 minus x1 squared, which would be 4 squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared, which would be 7 squared. And then we take the square root of that, and we'll get the distance, which is the hypotenuse of our triangle. So 4 squared, and we're going to just round this to the nearest tenth. 4 squared plus 7 squared is 65. The square root of that is 8.1. So we'd say the distance from point A to B is 8.1 units. So if you have trouble plugging numbers into this formula, you may want to just draw it out and figure out what the right triangle is and then just do Pythagorean theorem, because that's really what this formula is doing for you. It's setting up the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between those 2 points. All right, so let's talk about midpoint formula. The midpoint would be the middle of the segment, or halfway between the 2 points. So let's just use these same 2 points, but let's change it to midpoint formula. So the midpoint formula you might have learned before is the midpoint equals x1 plus x2 over 2. And the other point, or the other coordinate, the y coordinate, is y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And that gives you the midpoint. When you think about it, what you're actually doing is you're finding the average of the two x's, because you're finding the mean or average, which to find the mean of a set of numbers, you add them all together and divide by the number of numbers in that set. So we have x1 plus x2 divided by 2. That's the average value between the x here and the x here, the halfway point. Same thing, this is giving you the average y1 plus y2 over 2. You're finding the halfway middle of the y between the two y's. So that's all you're doing to find the midpoint. It's pretty simple. You're finding the average x and the average y. So for this example, if we have b is 1, +1, +2, a is -3, -5, the midpoint of the middle point between points A and B could be found by plugging in the numbers here. So we have x1 plus x2, -3 plus 1. divided by 2. And then for the y, it would be -5 plus 2 divided by 2. And we just have to simplify these fractions here. -3 plus 1, well, that would be -2. -2 divided by +2 would be -1. So we know the x coordinate is -1. -5 plus 2 is -3. -3 divided by 2 is -1.5. So we now know the coordinates of our midpoint are -1, -1.5. So it'll be like right about here, maybe. And again, I didn't draw this to scale. It's going to be right there in the middle. So that's how you find the midpoint between 2 points. You uh, find the average of the two x coordinates. You find the average of the two y coordinates, and then those would be your x and y at the midpoint. Okay, so that's how we do it. Your assignments are in Schoology. So your homework assignment, first of all, do the bell ringer. There's going to be a bell ringer in here in the week of 621. So do the 621 geometry bell ringer question. It's a very easy question. I don't think you need any help with that. And then I want you to do unit 2. I've added a couple more assignments here. I've added the 1.2 homework assignment. You're going to do some questions from that resources, chapter 1 resources packet that's up here. It's also linked in the assignment. And you're going to submit some of those problems to me. There's a discussion, distance and midpoint discussion assignment. And then there's another optional assignment. Again, if you're not quite getting the distance and midpoint, go ahead and go through this lesson. It will supplement what I just went over. And I will see you guys here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Have a great day. If you have any questions, just send me a message and I'll try to get back to you.